Hey, what's going on everybody? Zach here with Fire and Ferment. Today, we're gonna be cleaning our smoker. If you're into barbecue, you know how important it is to keep up with smoker maintenance. Let's face it, barbecue is a messy game. And with that, you end up with a lot of grease and grime and creosote on the inside that we need to clean out. Creosote is basically an oily grime that builds up from incomplete combustion of wood, builds up on the inside of the smoker. And if you don't get this out, you run the risk of contaminating your food with this creosote. And that'll make your food bitter and acrid. Pretty much a terrible experience for barbecue. The last time I cleaned my smoker was about a year ago, so we've got a ton of stuff built up on the inside that we need to clean out, and I'm gonna show you the process. And then we're gonna build up a big fire and re-season things on the inside and out. It's gonna be messy and dirty and frankly not that fun, but I'd rather do this with you guys than by myself. Let's go.
Before we do anything else, let's open up the smoker and pull out our water pan and grates. The first thing we do is glove up. I like to layer up with these gloves. The key word here is layer. Think 3 or 4 layers per hand. You'll thank me later.
Look, I just want to show you guys how absolutely disgusting this is. I don't even think the camera does it justice. It's just thick layer of grease and junk on the bottom. We got to scrape all of that out.
What I've got here is a putty knife that I reserved just for smoker cleaning purposes. If you look inside here, you can see all this grime. We're going to start by going through like so and peeling all this grime off of here. We want to make sure we get every single angle, nook, and cranny of the smoker, including the hard to reach spaces.
Do you guys ever eat that rolled ice cream? That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Nothing worth having in life comes easy, folks. This will take some time and definitely some elbow grease. Expect to get a bunch of junk on your arms, especially as you reach deep into the smoker. Your gloves may rip during this process as well, but this is where the layering comes in handy. Don't forget about that door either. It's actually kind of a satisfying process if you ask me. Now that all of this grime has been peeled off and cleaned up, we need to put this in a bag. I've got a plastic bag here just for this purpose, and all the junk will go in here, and then we'll just put it in the trash, which is conveniently right next to my smoker.
Seriously guys, no matter how much you scrape and clean, there's always gonna be more. I basically just do my best and go until I get tired of it.
Sometimes I go back over it another time with the scraper just to make sure I clean this up as good as possible. I want to do it right the first time, since I don't plan on hitting this again for another year. Now, let's turn our attention to the grates. I've got these grates down on the ground, and we're gonna hit these with the pressure washer to get all the junk off of them. We want to get both the top side and the bottom side of the grates. Now that all the junk is off the grates, we'll just let these hang out to dry. Now, we turn our attention to seasoning the smoker. We just want to build a big fire. Opening up my firebox has reminded me I got to get that firebox door from the inside, so I'll do that now. So we'll just use some lighter fluid here. I normally don't do this when I cook, but since we're not actually cooking anything today, and it's going to get insanely hot in here, and I'm going for ease, it's no big deal. We want as much heat as possible, so we'll build the biggest fire we can. Let's put the grates back in and let the smoker heat up.
I just want to show you guys how rusty and tarnished and just unkempt this smoker is. It's in need of a good seasoning for sure.
I got a bunch of Pam spray here. You can really use any type of cooking oil. Since this smoker is heating up, it's now a good time to spray this down. We're going to season the outside and the inside of the smoker with this Pam spray. Again, we got to get all the nooks and crannies of the smoker here. As that fire burns and heats the hot metal of the smoker, there's going to be a chemical reaction that takes place with this oil and the hot metal, and this reaction is called polymerization. It essentially creates a protective barrier between the metal and the elements to protect the metal.
Yeah, we want that to be a little hotter. We just want that to crank up as high as we possibly can. So we're basically just waiting for this fire to get up to the hottest temp possible. Inside the cook chamber, we're right at about 350 degrees. I'd like to bump it up above 400 if I can. I've just been adding log after log after log. I will say I'm freaking dirty, but it's for the love of the game. All right, so now we're at about 400 or so. I think I'm gonna go ahead and open up the cook chamber and I'm gonna spray the inside. That way we get a nice layer down on the inside. And then I'll close it down. I'm shooting for 450. Then I'm gonna go ahead and spray the outside of the cook chamber. All right, so now we're just gonna let that fire burn down. We're gonna get a nice patina on this smoker. It's gonna protect it against rust and the elements. I'll tell you what, guys, this smoker, my goal is that it's gonna outlive me and it might even outlive my grandkids. This thing's 3/8 inch steel. Yeah, it had just a tiny little bit of rust on it, but if I hit this once a year doing this process, it can really mitigate a lot of the effects that the elements have on it, whether it's rain or cold or direct sunlight. Yeah, it's not the funnest process, it's dirty, but it's a love of the art. I'll show you guys what this looks like once that fire is burned down.
If you guys like this content, please hit that like and subscribe button, comment below on what you think. Now, this is ready for our next cook. I'll see you guys then.